Alright, so you're thinking about buying a GameSir X4 Aileron mobile controller. It looks slick, it promises low latency, Hall effect sticks, and it's super portable. But here's what surprised me. After weeks of testing, I found this controller has some serious, fundamental problems that might make you regret that purchase. Therefore, this isn't a sponsored hype video. This is an honest, critical review of the GameSir X4 Aileron, where I'll expose the flaws you won't see in the marketing. For the best price, click the link in the description. Let's start with what's good, because the X4 Aileron isn't all bad. The magnetic two-piece design is genuinely clever. It snaps together satisfyingly and slips into a pocket like it's trying to hide from your wallet. The build quality feels solid initially, with a nice weight. The Hall effect sticks, as promised, are smooth and should be drift-free. The Bluetooth connection is indeed fast, and latency feels minimal in casual games. The customization via the GameSir app is a nice touch, letting you tweak button mappings and RGB lighting, though the lighting is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. But here's the first major twist. This controller's biggest selling point, its split design for versatility, is also its biggest Achilles heel. Therefore, let's dive into the core problem, the hollow, split structure. It's meant to accommodate most phones and even leave room for coolers or chargers. In reality, this creates a critical issue with grip and balance. Unless your phone is perfectly centered and sized, the controller feels uneven. One side often has more leverage than the other, leading to a subtle but constant torque on your hands. During an intense match, this uneven pressure becomes exhausting. It's like trying to hold a sandwich where one half is significantly heavier. You're fighting the controller's geometry as much as you're fighting the enemy team. But wait, there's more. The advertised space for phone coolers. It's practically useless unless you have a very specific, slim cooler. Most popular coolers either don't fit or block access to crucial buttons. So, a key feature becomes a frustrating limitation. Now, let's talk about those esport-level micro-switch buttons with a 5 million click lifespan. They're clicky, they're loud, they sound like you're popping bubble wrap in a library. The tactile feedback is pronounced, but the travel distance feels slightly long. In rapid-fire scenarios like in a shooter, you might feel a tiny delay between your intent and the action. The D-pad is the real disappointment here. It's a traditional cross design, but it's stiff and lacks the precise pivot of a good D-pad. For platformers or fighting games, directional inputs can feel mushy and inaccurate. It's a D-pad that thinks it's a joystick but forgot to get the range of motion. Therefore, while the buttons are durable, their performance isn't as refined as the marketing suggests. Alright, let's address compatibility. It says most Android devices. That's a generous statement. If your phone is thick, has a large camera bump, or uses a case, you'll run into fit issues. The magnetic connection isn't strong enough to securely hold a heavier, off-center phone. I've had phones slowly slide or tilt during gameplay. The controller becomes a wobbly gaming platform. It's less like a precision instrument and more like trying to play chess on a trampoline. But what about the customization with interchangeable thumbsticks and ABXY buttons? The included options are nice, but changing them is a fiddly process. You need to pry off the default ones, and the new ones don't always seat perfectly. It's customization that comes with a minor risk of making things worse. So, is personalization worth the hassle? Now, the GameSir app. It's required for remapping buttons and adjusting RGB. The app itself is functional but not polished. Connection can be finicky, and some settings don't persist reliably. The macro creation is basic. While it's a bonus, it's not the seamless, powerful suite you might expect. It feels like an app that's still in beta, but your controller isn't. Therefore, the software support is a mixed bag. It adds features but also adds potential frustration. Let's talk about battery life. It's decent but not exceptional. The RGB lights, if you use them, drain it faster. You'll get several hours of play, but if you're a marathon gamer, you'll need to charge it more often than you'd like. It's not a deal breaker, but it's another compromise. So we've got balance issues, button quirks, compatibility hiccups, and middling app support. But what about the price? At around $78.90, it's positioned as a premium mobile controller. For that price, you expect near-flawless execution. Here, you're paying for clever ideas that aren't fully realized. It's like buying a sports car that's amazing on paper but has a transmission that grinds in third gear. Therefore, who is this controller actually for? If you have a very specific, mid-sized phone without a case, play mostly casual or non-precision games, and value portability above all else, the X4 Aileron might work. But for competitive mobile gamers, for those who need rock-solid stability and instantaneous, precise inputs, this controller introduces too many variables. The problems with grip and balance alone can undermine your performance. It's a controller that tries to do too much and ends up spreading its quality thin across multiple features. It's the Swiss Army knife of mobile controllers, but sometimes you just need a good, reliable screwdriver. Let's compare it to the competition. There are other split controllers and traditional clip-style controllers. Many offer better stability, more consistent button feel, and simpler compatibility for a similar or lower price. The X4 Aileron unique design is its standout, but that uniqueness comes with trade-offs that affect core functionality. So, is innovation worth it if it compromises the fundamentals? That's the key question. Now, the Amazon rating of 4.3 stars is interesting. Many reviews praise the design and portability, but dig into the negative reviews and you'll see recurring themes: fit issues, balance complaints, and button concerns. The aggregate rating often smooths over these flaws. That's why you need a deep dive like this. My experience mirrors those hidden criticisms. Therefore, this isn't a controller I can recommend blindly. Here's the resolution. The GameSir X4 Aileron is a fascinating product with bold ideas. The magnetic split design is cool. The Hall effect sticks are a premium touch, but its execution falters in critical areas that directly impact gameplay. The balance problem is a fundamental design flaw for many users. The buttons and D-pad aren't top tier for competitive play. Compatibility is more restrictive than advertised. So, should you buy it? If absolute portability is your #1 priority, and you're willing to accept these compromises, consider it. But for most gamers, especially those seeking a reliable, high-performance tool, there are better, more focused options available. The X4 Aileron feels like a first-generation concept that needs a revision to iron out these core issues. Don't buy it expecting a flawless premium experience. Buy it knowing you're getting a clever but flawed device. For the best price and to see current deals, click the link in the description below.